Boker Or Rabotai. We continue our study of the Taryag Mitzvot, and today we're up to the 350th Mitzvah. It's the first Mitzvah in Parashat Bechukotai. It's a positive commandment, and it is the laws of Erchin, the laws of evaluation. The Pasuk says, Ish, ki yafli neder be'erkecha nefashot laHashem. Perek Zayin, Pasuk Bet. Now this is a form of a vow where a person vows his value to the Bet Kabai, to the treasury of the Bet HaMikdash. Now this should not be confused with if a person who says Demi Alai. Demi Alai means where he's donating his worth, which means on the market, how much it can be sold for. Erech is different. These are set prices that are given by the Torah based on gender, male or female, and based on age. It's a fixed price. So therefore he has to pay whether he is healthy, whether he's not healthy, whether he's handsome, whether he's ugly, whether he's strong, whether he's weak. Doesn't matter. This is a fixed price that he pays based on the Torah's standard. Now, what is the reason why? As a general overview, when a person says something, he has to follow through. So the Chinuch reminds us that as human beings, what separates us from all the other creatures and makes us more divine and angelic is the part of the body that allows us to communicate and speak, which actually is a exercise of the soul. As the Targum explains in the beginning of Bereshit, when it says that God created man as nefesh haya, as a living soul, the Targum explains the words living soul as ruach mimalela, as a spirit that speaks. And the Chinuch tells us that all the parts of the body are dead. The only part of the body that's alive, as it says in the Pasuk, the nefesh haya, that's the part of the body where speech comes from, and therefore one has to be very careful. If he abuses his speech, he's considered as he's dead. He's considered as if he has has no life to a certain degree. And therefore, when a person says something, he has to fulfill it. We don't take words and speech lightly at all. Now, not only when it comes to the darim in this sense, which is kodesh, which is dedicating money, but even on mundane things, a person should not defile his words, like the Gemara says, "Shelo yeshane adam b'diburo." That a person should not change or make a compromise in his speech. Now, some of the laws regarding erchi. One law would be is that we said the money goes to the Bet Kabayit, to the treasury. There's laws that, let's say, a person makes a vow of erech, but he can't afford it. So there's a whole system exactly how Betim will go in and start to take collaterals. One interesting law, and this is that so important it is for the man to pay up, is that even if he's a Talmid Hakam, they will collateralize his books. But the Sefer Chinuch says they'll take all his books except the Masechet that he's learning. If he's learning Masechet Ketubot and that for Yomi, so they'll let him keep the Masechet Ketubot so he can continue to give the Shi'ur, and the Rav says Mishum Kevod Torah. Now, law says that if a person has property or assets, they have to sell them in order for him to pay this vow. And the law, when it comes to movable properties, which we call metaltelim, whenever it comes to a person who owes hekdesh, we sell the metaltelim immediately in the place that he is. We don't come along and say, well, let's wait till the market goes up, or we'll sell it overseas. No, you sell it ba'asher usham, be'oto makom, be'oto zeman. When it comes to real estate, however, when you're selling it to pay a debt to hekdesh, the Gemara says you get 60 days in order to announce to the people that there's a piece of real estate for sale, to try to fetch the best offer. After 60 days, the real estate is sold, the money is given to Hekdesh. Now this law applies b'chol makom, in all places, at all times. It applies to male and female alike. Now, what does it mean it applies? So there's different rules. If it was in the olden days, so then the person would be obligated to give the money immediately to the Bet HaMikdash, and it's considered Kodesh. However, the Hakamim came along and said that today, Bisman Nazeh, we do not make Erchin, because what are you going to do with the money? Today we don't have a Bet HaMikdash. So the law would be, if a person did say Erki Alai, and he separated money for this item. So the law says, depends what he sanctified. If he sanctified, let's say fruit, you let them decay and spoil. And for that matter, vessels and things like that, you just let them until they ruin. Money and different types of metals, you throw it into the Yam HaMelach, into the Dead Sea, let it decay. An animal, ta'akir. What does it mean, ta'akir? You lock the door on it and you just let the animal die. Now, that was the opinion of some, but Shemuel held that actually you can make pidyon, which is you can take a coin and take the kedusha from the item that you made erech, put it on the coin, that's pidyon, and take the coin and throw it into Yam HaMelach. And therefore, today, if somebody transgressed and he was ma'arich, Bizman Bet HaMikdash, and he didn't pay back, so he has transgressed this positive commandment, he also has transgressed the negative commandment of not fulfilling a vow. Torah says that when a person vows something to charity, he has to make good on it, as the pasuk says, "Lo te'acher l'shalemo," that you have 3 regalim in order to pay back your charity debts. Some say when it comes to erech, you only have no regal; you got to pay it immediately. But that's a mahloket in itself. Bizman nazeh, again, if a person did make an erech, which he shouldn't do, then we have to follow whatever we said before. Either get rid of the item, meaning le'abed, or do the takana of Shemuel. If he did not follow this procedure, he has transgressed this positive commandment of erech, and the Rav says ve'onsho gadol. His punishment is very great. Again, number 1, he's not fulfilling his vows. Number 2, he's defiling his speech, which is a crime in itself. This is a very, very important musar as we come close to the month of Elul. The whole tikkun of the high holiday season obviously is going to be in our prayers, and therefore a lot of the tikkun that we make is in our dibur, to make sure that the speech is functioning correctly. And if the speech is functioning correctly, the pasuk says, "Lo yachel devaro kechol asher yitzeh mipiv yaseh." That if a person does not defile his words, "Lo yachel devaro," that his word is emet, then kechol asher yitzeh mipiv, that whatever comes out of his mouth, yaseh, they will listen. That means a sigula for prayers to be answered is if a person keeps his word, and therefore the mouth is functioning correctly. So then already Borei Olam says whatever comes out of this man's mouth, since it's an accurate and a precise mouth, and his words are proper, so then already he has a greater chance for his words to be accepted in Shamayim as well.